and gentlemen, welcome to our first ever episode on Governance 360, where youth lead the conversation. I welcome you all, our audience, our panelists, and our global audience. Welcome today as we'll be talking about youth in governance, exploring the position of youth in the global south. So today we'll be engaging with youth leaders and experts who will share their insights, challenges, and triumphs in the pursuit of a more inclusive future. Together we'll embark on a journey where every perspective matters. So the question in this room today is, are we leading or are we merely following? Can individualism coexist with collectivism? And are youth willing to collaborate or they prefer to pursue their own path? So today I will have our guest today from Myanmar. Her name is Vitumbiko, an assistant director in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of the Union of Myanmar. She'll be sharing about perspective of youth in the Southeast Asia. Welcome, Nico.
Thank you so much, Vitu, for giving me the floor. And hello everyone, my name is Nico and I'm from Myanmar. And I'm very pleased to participate in today's Youth and Governance talk. So we often hear the phrase youth are the future, but we are not just the future. We are shaping the present through political engagement, activism, or the leadership. And especially in Global South, where youth make up the huge part of the population and their roles is more important than ever. So today I will be focused on how youth are getting involved in the governance, and I will focus on the Southeast Asia. It's a region full of energy, creativity, and the political change. So let's start with the bigger picture. In the Global South, which include countries in Asia, Africa, and Latin America, over half of the population is under the age of 30s. So it's a million and millions of young people. But many countries face the challenges like weak democracy, corruption, unemployment, or the lack of business or local business services, and this means too much for the young people. And this is feeling ignored or powerless for the young people, and instead of being silenced, they start getting involved in the governance. They are starting community group, leading campaign, using social media to raise the awareness, and even running for local offices. Stay is not easy. They may face challenges like an age limit to run the office, and not enough money to do the campaign, or being left out of decision-making spaces. So how they are finding the ways to participate? So let's explore this through the stories from the Southeast Asia. So Southeast Asia is a region of a diverse culture, and it's a very diverse region. Some countries are more democracy like Indonesia and the Philippines, and others have tighter political control like Thailand, Cambodia, and my own country, Myanmar. I will give you some example. But what unites them is that youths are speaking out. So in Thailand in 2020, students led a huge protest, and they asked for the better constitution, fair election, and limit on the power of monarchy. Thailand is a monarchy country. So what interesting was this, how they did it. They used cartoon, music, and social media to spread their messages, and they didn't just complain, they proposed the real idea for the change. In Cambodia, even though politics is more control, youth are still making impact. They focus on community services like teaching the children, cleaning the river, and using social media to speak about the environment. This may seem small, but they are still making and helping build awareness and push forward by steady change. In my own country, in Myanmar, we also have many challenges and political control, but young people, we are still making challenges. We make the challenges through technology and education. They are starting youth center, open online classes, and use social media to share the information. Group like Pandia or Young Youth Network, they are helping young people to be more active in the social and the civil work. And this may also seem small, but this is also a push forward with a steady change. So this is my short story.
Okay, wow, that is really interesting to hear, because as you know right now, the youngest population is in the global south. So we're talking about Asia, we're talking about Africa. And you mentioned that the median age for most of these countries in the Southeast Asia is 30 years. That means we need to take more action. We need to do more in terms of leadership and governance. Can you please, if you can, share more some of the case studies that are happening in Southeast Asia in terms of governance?
Yes, of course. I would like to give a case study of Indonesia. It's a country with a population more than 270 million people, and over half of the population is under 30. That means a lot of young voices. In 2020, when the Indonesia government passed a new law called Omnibus Law, a job creation law, which many people thought was unfair to the worker and the environment. You know, the young people, they took this case to the street. They also made a policy suggestion, they made the online petition, and they explained the law to the other in a simple way. So this shows how Indonesian youth are not just emotional protesters, they are smart, organized, and strategic. And I would like to give you another case study. This is about Philippines. So in Philippines, young people make participation official through something called Sangguniang Kabataan or KB. It's a youth council in the villages or the township. Young people as young as 15 years old, no, not 50, 15 years old, they can run the office in the SK. If they can become a leader in the SK, they can run they can get the real responsibility like managing the budgets and running the event and helping with local problems. At first, this has a little bit problem, like some young people are not serious and some are connected to the powerful family, but it is improving. Now new law are required to become a leader at the SK. They like a leadership training and limit who can run, and they also make the system more transparency. Now the SK young leader, they are doing the community services, and other they use this position to move into the bigger role in the government. So, and besides SK youth in the Philippines, they are also fighting for fighting the fake news, promoting human rights, and supporting digital literacy. So the Philippines give us a great examples of how youth are not just good, how youth can lead, not just in protest, but through official government rule.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing. Wow, this is very interesting to hear. Like you're saying, in Indonesia, the youth are not just like protesting emotionally, but they are now making decisions that will change their nation. And also, you mentioned in Philippines that the governance, young people as young as 15 years of age are now being involved in governance structures. I think we can learn more even in my country, because we do not have that. I think we can learn more to establish these structures that youth will start thinking as leaders at a young age, formulating policy solutions that will actually help our communities. Thank you for sharing. And but then what are some of the challenges in Southeast Asia?
No, we have this progress, but we still have the challenges, like young people, they cannot run the national office because of the age limit, and they don't have the money or connection to complete the campaigns, and they are seen as too young or too emotional to do to lead something special, and they are included only symbolically, not given the real power. So in country with stricter government, that youth groups, they are watched closely by the government, and then in some cases they can be arrested because of speaking out, and their online spaces are also monitored. So this creates fear, but even with these problems, they continue to push forward. These are the common challenges.
Yeah, I think that those challenges are common all over, even in Africa, whereby, we can have youth, go in parliament, maybe one or two of us go in parliament, but then you don't really see them make significant change because power is still with the older generation, and we are just there symbolically, like, okay, there's a youth representative in this place. So it would really be good to have like youth actually now have the power to influence change and do much more than just be present in the conversation. So can you like in your own words just try to make a conclusion, because I think about these challenges we can talk about it later after everybody has spoken, because it is a very important issue. So can you like give me like 1 or 2 words before we
before the conclusion, I would like to give you some kind of example about long term of youth participation. So because youth participation today shape the future of democracy. When young people join local council, organize the peaceful protests, or create civil tech, they are building scale and changing how government responds. And they are also refining the leadership. You know, our moderator, Vitu, our panelists, and our audience, you don't need to be in the parliament to do a difference. You can be a coder, you can be a young leader, you can be a journalist, or you can be a community debater, and you are still playing a role in the government. And the key is just don't give up. And as for my conclusion, I want to leave you all with this. You are not just the leader of tomorrow, we are the leader of today. From the digital street of Indonesia to the village council of the Philippines, from the creative protests in the Thailand to the tech projects in Myanmar and the community efforts in the Cambodia, young people are already making the changes. Government, school, and civil society, we should encourage young people, not just giving them the microphone, but giving them the real power. So instead of asking when you will lead, when youth will lead, we should start saying they already are. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Wow, thank you so much for sharing. That was a really insightful conversation all the way from Southeast Asia. And indeed, we don't have to wait for later. This is the time where youth have to actually do the change, and you don't have to wait to say, okay, I have to be part of the big thing, but it begins with a small single step. Like they say, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.